It is a medical technology. It is a part of your science and tech. Science and technology, it is coming in your General Studies paper 3 in your mains exam. General Studies paper 3 in your mains examination. So, you know how much mark is the General Studies catering to science and tech? So it comes in General Studies paper 3. You will get around 70 plus mark. Okay. And apart from that, in prelims also, very often there will be questions. In prelims also, very often, if you see at least minimum level, 2 or 3 questions will be there in your prelims. Minimum. Sometimes they've asked around even 6 plus questions also. Okay, so that is the level of importance for science and tech. In that earlier we have done with the nuclear technology. The first technology what we have done thoroughly, it's nuclear technology. So now the second chapter what we are starting it is medical technology. So the nuclear technology, whoever missed it, we will give you the access to the videos that you can have. Plus again we will cover it again. Okay, so you don't need to bother about what you have missed it. Today we will say about the completely about the medical technology. Okay, so now before going into the subjects, can some of you can say what are the diagnostics tools you had come across? I'm not expecting that you should go to the hospital as a patient or something. You might have visited hospital, or you might have seen some advertisement, or you might have seen some brochures where a lot of diagnostic tools are measured or mentioned. So what are the diagnostics tools or technology you know about medical field currently in Indian hospitals? Say for example, technology means I'm talking about, say for example, X-ray is a diagnostic tool like this. What are the things you are aware about it?
Stethoscope, sir.
Which one? Stethoscope. Okay.
ECG, sir.
Pardon?
Next, fat calculator, sir.
Fat calculator, that is your BMI you are telling. Okay.
ECG, sir.
ECG. Yes, good. Then
Oxygen concentrators.
pulse oximeter you are telling.
Pulse oximeter.
Okay. So nowadays it's in the news because of Corona. Okay.
Sphygmomanometer.
Pardon? Sphygmomanometer for BP apparatus. It is called sphygmom.
Nowadays, we use that temperature
Another one is
for checking temperature, sir. Nowadays, we are using, sir.
what is the name of it?
Thermometer.
Think,
Exactly.
no, sir.
Thermometer.
Vital sign monitor.
Vital sign monitor means, yeah, that is normal. What do you call? One monitor will be there that will cover everything. Whatever you have told separately, like ECG, temperature, and BP will be all put together. It will be shown on a screen. Okay, that's fine. Anything else?
Electroencephalogram.
I think who has spoken now? Their voice is not clear. Can you repeat?
EEG, sir.
EEG. Okay. EEG means electroencephalogram. Electroencephalogram. This is for scanning the brain. Yes, correct. Then anything else?
Nebulizers.
Nebulizer. Very good. Nebulizer. It's used for what?
In a way of steam or
It is for the asthma patient. asthma patient or those who are having the breathing trouble, this nebulizer is important. Immediately they need to inhale some kind of medicine in the form of gaseous form. Okay, even for the kids, they will use it whenever they have a breathing trouble or something. Yes, good. Then
So for BP, they'll check, sir. Oh, okay, I'll just say. Okay, okay, sir.
it is already added, sphygmomanometer. Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
anything else? Yeah, whatever you have told, it is fair enough, it is a good enough. And if you wonder it, you have given the 9 points. Already 3 to 4 questions have been raised from this. I'm talking about the previous year IAS prelims question. It is being asked in IAS, even in other exams also, in KAS, PSA, and other exams also. Okay, say for example, which are the questions asked? About X-ray they've asked. About BP apparatus they've asked. Which is direct question, very simple direct questions will come. What is the name of the instrument used for checking blood pressure? Am I clear? Then they've asked ECG, electrocardiogram was asked. Okay, so these are the 3 questions. You can check it in a recent year, maybe after 2015-16, if I'm not wrong. In 1 year, they have asked, what is the unit of BP? See, we say blood pressure. Okay, what is the normal blood pressure? Anybody can say? Normal blood pressure. What is the normal human blood pressure? What is the measurement?
80 by 120.
That is 120 by 80.
80. Yes, sir.
Okay, 120 by 80 is the normal one. That one particular year they've asked about the sphygmomanometer. Another year they have asked what is the normal BP? Direct question. And the third year they've asked what is the unit of BP? These 3 questions, you can see it after 2015. I'm just talking about the last 5 years question. If you check it, certainly you will have these 3 questions in the 3 different years. So what is the unit of BP? What is the unit of BP? If you see the instrument, there will be mercury inside. Okay, the mercury will be pumping when the pressure is given on your arm. So based on that only they are checking it. It is mmHg. mmHg. Okay, millimeter mercury. Hg, it's a unit for mercury. This is the unit. So they just asked, they're given in option 4 different units. They asked which is the unit for BP. So why I am stressing this point, medical technology means you no need to be a research scholar or advanced method of technology. You no need to go there and raise a question and study, do the research so that you can able to answer in IAS exam or in any other competitive exam. Don't think like that. Next time in your home, if anybody is coming and giving you the blood test report, you can closely have a look. What are the tests they have taken it? And what is the normal value? And what is the unit? You have to closely look into that. You don't throw the paper. Don't throw the paper. Whoever have a close look of this basic your medical prescription or a medical test report, they alone they can able to answer this question, these 3 questions. You don't need to be a doctor. You don't need to be a brainy person to answer this question. Am I clear? So UPSC in prelims particularly, they are going for the questions very, very basic level. Very basic level. Whereas when it comes to the mains, they'll go for highly advanced. Okay. When it goes to the main examination, they'll go for highly advanced. That difference you need to understand. It is clear. Suppose if you are studying somewhere in the mid-level, you may understand the medical field, but you may not be able to answer the question. So very basic things. Suppose this is the brilliant question I can say. In the another year, they've asked, what is the normal level of sugar? And then another year, they've asked, what is the unit of sugar? Anybody know? So sugar is one of the family disease nowadays. Okay. You can find a diabetic patient very often. They will say they have a sugar. You know what is the unit of sugar? Sugar measurement. What should be the normal sugar level? What should be the normal sugar level in our body? Anyone?
Around 160, 150.
140, sir.
Okay. 120 to 140, it is a normal. Fasting blood sugar, it should be less than 120. Fasting blood sugar, that means they'll ask you to come for a fasting. And the early morning, that is 12 hours fasting. Previous night you should eat by 9 o'clock, and next day till morning 9 o'clock you should not eat anything. Come there and give the blood, and that should be less than 120, because this is the diagnostic test for your whether you are a diabetic or not. It is clear. In a normal blood sugar, suppose anytime you just walk into the hospital, if you are taking it, that can be 120, 140, even up to 160, nothing harm. Okay, you are not a diabetic. Okay, so 1 year they've asked what is the blood sugar level of fasting blood sugar? That was the question. Okay, so the unit is gram per deciliter. Unit is gram per deciliter. So 1 year they've asked the unit, 1 year they've asked this. You got the point? It's clear. So this is how the question level are coming. One is the BP apparatus, another one is BP normal level, and the third is unit of BP, fourth is sugar normal level, and fifth is unit of sugar. So it's all I'm talking about IAS questions, IAS examination question, and it is being raised naturally in KAS and other competitive exam also. It is clear. So now today's class, what we are going to see about not this one. We are going to for mains examination. That is your science and tech, paper 3. And understanding the mains concept will always help you to go for the answering the prelims question thoroughly. We can able to easily answer it. That is possible. That is clear. So the whole idea is UPSC, one side they will go for a very low level question, another side they'll go for the high level question. High level question also they've asked in a prelims. I'll tell you. Say for example, how many of you are aware about the cloning? What do you know about cloning?
That's in cloning that we can make a exact copy of a particular maybe animal or human being.
Exactly. So the cloning is an advanced technology, but it was a massive breakthrough. The technology was identified in 1998. Okay, the technology was identified in 1998, almost 20 years before. It is clear. So cloning, through the cloning process, I can reproduce the person. The person looks like exactly me when he is growing to my age. Okay, from the kid, when you start growing it, I can what you call recreate my school days. The person will be exactly looks like me, 100%, because I'm creating the person from my own chromosomes, my own genes. That's the technology. Okay, so that was the breakthrough in 1998. But if you see UPSC question, IAS mains question, in the same year in 1998, they've asked. You just go home and check this question, you'll have this question. Discuss about cloning. That means
So
somewhere.
please do explain once again, sir.
No, I'll cloning, I'll come and explain it. Okay, I'm not covering the topic. I'm just telling how the level of questions they are asking it. Okay, we are going to see the cloning in detail. Don't worry. Am I clear? So because UPSC will be highly advanced. Same way, if you see the last year, there was a news about 3D parenting, or it's otherwise called 3 parents baby. Not 3D, 3 parents baby. So anybody have heard about it? The baby is born last year, 2019, in South America. Okay, that means what? Suppose if the father and mother is there, if the father might be having some chromosomal defect, but the father is contributing the chromosomes, around 23 chromosomes he is contributing, mother is contributing 23, probably let us imagine it, the 3 chromosomes are in defective. If the same chromosome, if it enter into the baby's body, the baby may be defective, 100% defective. It may lead to the genetic disorder or chromosome disorder. To avoid that, what they will do, they will identify some other healthy donor. They will take only that 3 chromosome. Wherever there is a defective, that will be replaced. That will be replaced. Now all the 46 chromosomes are healthy, and this will be infused into the egg, and the baby will be produced. So actually, this baby will born like a normal baby. Okay, but the baby will have chromosomes and gene pattern from 3 different parents. 3 different parents. So this is a kind of genetic engineered baby. So that is a concept called genetic engineering. Genetic engineering. It is clear. This is the initial stage. Maybe in future, it may be the designer baby. There is something called designer baby. That concept going to come maybe down the line 10 years. If you see that, you can give the order to the doctors to design your baby. That means I need a boy. I need a height like this. The eyes should be like this. Muscular structure should be like this. So you, what do you call, the same kind of chromosome pattern need to be framed, and the doctors will do. Doctors will do. So that's the worrisome aspect of technology, because it's an initial stage of this. That is why this question was asked. Okay, so the chromosomes are started mixing from 3 different parents. It is possible. It is clear. So these are all the latest one, and the same year the UPSC will ask. What do you call 3-parent baby question was asked already in your exam. Yes, somebody raising the hand. Any question? Any questions? Okay, fine. So we will move on to this. So this is a kind of brief introduction I'm giving, sir. What is the level of questions they are asking in your IAS mains as well as in the prelims? Okay, so now we will move on. So now we will see, first thing is about the human system, how human body is reacting normally, so that you can understand what is happening right now in the field. So there is something called autoimmune disorder. Anybody can say what do you mean by autoimmune disorder or autoimmune system? What do you mean by auto?
Our own immune cells.
I think Ganesh is speaking.
Sangavi, sir.
Yes, Sangavi, your voice is not clear.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you speak again? What is your question? What is your doubt? Autoimmune system means what?
Our own immune system is attacking our cells. Autoimmune disorder.
Exactly. Okay. Sir, see now you just imagine it wherever you are sitting right now, in your home, or it might be any other location. If you feel that, do you think that you are located in a safer location if you don't have virus and bacteria? That is totally wrong. If you properly check with the proper instrument, in and around you, there might be thousands of virus. In and around you, wherever you are sitting right now, it is there. Thousands of viruses there, bacteria is there, but it is not creating any harmful nature to your body, because we have something called immune system. Okay, it is like a security guard. So whenever this virus comes inside, our security system will fight with them and make you and feel healthy. Okay, so this is the normal method. Sometimes these our own security guards will get confused whenever we are taking some other medicine to protect ourselves. That medicine also will be considered by the security guard as an enemy. Okay, so normal immune systems are, whenever any external virus or bacteria is coming, they need to fight with them and protect your body. That is why these immune systems are functioning it. So healthy immune system. Whenever if the immune systems are getting confused, Enemy is coming inside, you will allow him as a, what do you call, friend, and the enemy will come and destroy. Enemy will come and destroy. So that is what happening in the case of corona. So corona, why we are struggling to find the vaccine? Enemy is coming to you and is coming with a different color dress whenever he is coming inside. Okay, maybe inside one person is coming with a black dress, with the inside with American it might be a red dress, inside with Chinese it might be a white dress, some or other thing. So the people are getting confused whether he is the real enemy or not. So he is not reacting equally for everyone. So because of that, we are struggling to get the vaccine. Finally, almost done. Okay, so I'll come back to the corona at the end of the session in the medical technology because we have enough data about it. This is, I'm just comparing it. Okay, so here the autoimmune system, what happened? Suppose when a person going for the organ donation, he is receiving a kidney from external person. That kidney is placed on the patient, on a recipient patient. Now his own autoimmune system should accept this external organ as a friend. Suppose if it is not getting accepted, what happened? This immune system will started attacking on organ. So whatever the organ, the replacement is done, within a day it become failure again. Because your autoimmune systems are more effective, most effective, and they can easily attack the organ, and the organ may become failure. Getting organ itself, it's very costly. So the market value of kidney is around 5 lakh, and surgery you need to spend another 2-3 lakhs. Okay, it's a huge amount, and immediately you won't get the really long queue system. Okay, so after struggling to get the organ, if your autoimmune system itself it's affecting the organ, then the whole organ replacement surgery it become a failure. You got the point? It become a failure. So whenever if you want to go for organ replacement in our body, then your autoimmune system should be suppressed. That means what? You have your own enemy in your body. That enemy should be properly educated. That means your security guards should be properly educated. You should tell him that this organ also it's mine. Okay, please don't attack him. How will you do that? You need to suppress that your immune system, or you should give a holiday to your security guard. So that is what the doctors are doing it. Keep it in your mind. So whenever there is an organ replacement, suppose if a person is taking an organ from some other external person, non-relative, non-blood relative, okay, through the commercial donor, when you are taking an organ, what will happen? That organ tissue may not match with your tissue. So there is something called tissue, what do you call it? The tissue should mix, not only the blood group of course it should match. Apart from that, the tissue culture also should match. Okay, so normally this will be matching 100% for the blood relatives. Suppose if the mother is giving the organ to the son, the mother's tissue culture and son tissue culture will be 100% matching. Same way father is giving to the son, 100% matching. It is clear. Suppose the son is getting the organ from somebody else. Blood groups are matching, it's fine, but the tissue cultures are not matching. The tissue culture will never be 100%. It can be a 70% or 80% or something like that. It is clear. So that is the issue. Now, when the tissue culture is not 100%, your autoimmune system will start thinking that this organ has a virus or bacteria, the external organ, and it started attacking them. Within a day or two, that external organ it become a failure. So to avoid that, what the doctors will do, whenever they are going for the organ replacement, they'll give a set of drugs. This drug, practically if you speaking, have you come across any organ replacement patients? Anybody? Those are surgery is successful and external organ is fixed and is functioning normally and he is healthy. Have you come across anybody? Plenty of people are there because organ replacement it's nowadays it's very common. But if you exactly see the quality of life, there is something called quality of life. If the person is taking the organ from some other person, he should take minimum 15,000 rupees worth of medicine, that is the tablets. approximately per month. This nobody will tell you. Nobody knows that. Of course, he can lead a normal life. But 15,000 rupees worth of medicine per month you need to take for any organ transplantation. And why for this medicine? To suppress your autoimmune system. To suppress your autoimmune system. It is clear. Once if it is suppressed, what will happen? Suppose, say for example, my autoimmune systems are totally suppressed by taking 15,000 rupees of medicine. What will happen to me? I'll become like an infant baby. That means I cannot go outside in a chill weather. Immediately I'll get the cold because I don't have any protection security guard. I may very easily get the disease. I cannot go and enjoy the hotel food. I cannot go to the cinema halls. I cannot go to the public speech. Nothing can be done. Okay. Wherever there is a gathering, wherever there is a crowd, wherever there is a possibility of spreading nature of disease, that particular person will very easily get the disease. It is clear. So what doctors will say, you have to take 15,000 rupees worth of medicine every month. That is an autoimmune system. How long? Lifelong. Keep it in your mind. It should be taken lifelong because you have taken the kidney from some other external person, not from your blood relatives. Not from your blood relatives. Because your immunity systems are getting suppressed. Suppose if you stop this medicine, if you stop the medicine, what will happen? Your autoimmune system, already enemy is within you. He will start attacks that organ, the organ will become failure. Again, he should rush to the hospital. Okay, by taking the medicine, if you go outside your home, there are other diseases ready to attack you because your immunity system is no longer exist. Am I clear? You got the point? That means what? The person can simply survive. The person can survive. He cannot live. What is the difference between these two? Survival and living.
Living means like he needs to go out to some restaurant maybe.
Living means you are enjoying your life. The quality of life is pleasant. Okay, you can do whatever you want. Survive means you are just breathing. You are just breathing. So the doctors, what they will say? Operation success. Patient survive. That's all. Operation success, patient survive. How he survived, nobody talks about it. Keep it in your mind. Nobody talks about it. In the entire medical field, nobody speaks what is the quality of life. Quality of life will be very, very poor. Keep it in your mind. For any surgery, if you have any surgery, there are complications. If you have organ transplantation, this is the complication. This is the complication. Not everybody having the lucky features to get the kidney or organ from their own blood relatives. Keep it in your mind. You got the point? So because there is a huge shortage of organ. There is a huge shortage of organ. You name any organ, there is a huge shortage. Okay. So because of that, the reality is like this. So the person can survive, but he cannot live. Now there is a lot of research is going on how to improve this quality of life of the people, those who are going for the organ transplantation. Because they are the primary customer, because they are ready to spend 5 lakh, 10 lakh or 20 lakh for a kind of organ and live. So the doctors, what they are telling you, how to improve their quality of life. You need to go for organ transplantation, take organ from anybody, but I will not be at home and I should not take too much of medicine. Okay, I should live like a normal person. So how to do it? So that is where the research is coming. So the medical research is for what? All medical research across the world, there is only one point. It is working on only one point. Keep it in your mind. What is that point? All medical research across the globe. One is long live. Okay. That is the ultimate aim of the medical research is how to improve the quality of life of the person. All the advanced research is based on this only. Suppose now for corona, why the people are struggling to get the vaccine? Okay. I want to improve the quality of the person because the people are hiding behind the door. I want to make the people to come out, to live freely, so that their quality of life will be good. So that at least I need some medicine, even if the disease cannot be controlled, I need to make them to come out of it. Okay, so there is a lot of research is going on corona aspects. So the whole idea is this. So even the latest research on organ transplantation, the whole idea or one-line target is how I can improve the quality of the person even after taking an organ from unknown person. How I can make the person to live instead of survive. It's clear. So that is the whole research. It is going on. We will see what are the things they have achieved it. Let's see. It's clear. So before going into that, let me show you what is the current trend in the organ shortage. There is a huge amount of organ shortage in the world. You name any organ, it is a shortage. So the primarily we will talk about the blind data, visually challenged data of the world. Okay. So if you see that, as per the UN data, this is the data report released by WHO. The estimated number of people visually impaired in the world is 285 million as per 2020 data. 285 million. 285 million means 28.5 crore. 1 million is 10 lakh. 28.5 crore people are visually challenged. Okay. And 39 million blind and 246 million having low vision. Low vision means they have some impairment in their eyes. 3.9 crore people are completely blind. Okay. 65% of people are visually impaired. 82% of all blind are 50 years and older. 50 years and older. So this is a brief data. Okay, approximately you can just fix the number. This number 28.5 crore people are some or other manner suffering visual deformity. Visual deformity. This is about the world, and this is about India. Okay, the current trend of blindness, the number of blind person in India would increase to 24.1 million. 24.1 million in 2010 and to 31.6 million in 2020. That means what? 3.16 crore. 3.16 crore people. Suppose if you consider our population is 100 crore. Population is 100 crore. So almost more than 3% of people are having a blindness. It's a huge data. Okay, having a blind. I'm just talking about only the blind. Only the blind. This data is not the completely physically handicapped people. You got the point. It's only about the visually challenged person. This is the data in India. 3.16 crore people as per in 2020 data, as per Government of India. It is the latest data what I have collected. It is clear. And the amount of organ donations are very limited. In this, if you give a proper organ donation, almost 80% of the blindness can be reduced or recovered. We can give them a sight. We can give them a sight, particularly in a blind. What is the beauty in this? If the healthy person, whenever he is dying it, if he is giving only his cornea. This question was asked in your exam, keep it in your mind. Which part of the eye we are donating it? Okay, you don't need to donate your entire eyes. Keep it in your mind. It is only the cornea. It is a lens. It is a human lens. This lens alone is needed. Almost 80% of blindness can be cured. Okay, but this lens cannot be made in the laboratory. That need to be donated by someone else. First one. Second one is the people having a misconception whenever there is a blind donations are happening it. Your eyeball will be removed totally so that the dead body looks, what do you call, the look may deform. It is not good for the family or for a religious reason or some other thing. Nothing like that. Your eyeball will be remain as it is. They will just remove the cornea within 15 minutes. The cornea can be removed on the same spot where the person dead. Suppose if the dead body is in the home, doctors will come there on the same place within half an hour, they'll remove it. Again, the eyeball will be remain there only the cornea will be removed. It is clear, because majority of the people may not aware about it. Whereas in the foreign countries, the blind donate, organ donations are very, very common. Organ donations are very common. In South India, to an extent, we are donating it. People are coming forward and donating it. Whereas in North India, it's very, very poor. Tamil Nadu is a state, it is leading in organ donation. So these questions can be asked in your exam. Please keep it in your mind. In terms of overall organ donation, which is maximum in Tamil Nadu compared to any other state. Okay. So this need to be further increased. Beyond religion, the people should think and come forward to go for the donation. That's very, very important. It's clear. So this is the actual data as per 2020. So this you can directly use it for your exam. Okay, so we have done with autoimmune system. Next we'll go for the organ donation. So here the organ donation, I have told what is the actual problem with the, when a person is getting an external organ, it lead to the rejection. They call it as a rejection. Your own body will start rejecting it. So once if it is rejected, the entire organ will become a failure. This eyes baby, I'll deal it later because it's entirely different, nowhere related with this. Okay, so now the current situation is autoimmune system suppress your quality of life. So how you can overcome that? That's the whole concept. For that, you need to go for something called stem cells research. Stem cells research. So this is the latest research to improve quality of life of the person who were going for organ transplantation. It's clear. So whoever going for organ transplantation, I want to improve their quality of life. So here, what do you mean by stem cells? Anyone? What do you mean by stem cells? Okay, see, stem cells are nothing but it is called, there are two types of stem cells are there. One is embryonic stem cells. Embryonic stem cells. Another one is adult stem cells. So what do you mean by that? Say, for example, before going into that, you need to understand how the life is emerging. We are all how we born. So father is giving 23 chromosomes. Mother is giving 23 chromosomes. Both join, it become 46. So this 46 chromosome will be in a single cell, only one cell. So the very first day of our life, if you imagine it, when the father gives 23 chromosome, mother gives 23, totally it becomes 46, and there was only one cell in our, mother's egg. Only one cell is formed by taking all these 46. That one cell, it got divided into 2, and 2 become 4, and 4 become 8. Like that, it's getting multiplied. You got the point. And from this multiplication of cells only, our entire human body is emerged. That is how we are all born. So these cells only, it is converted over a period of time, it is converted into eye and heart and brain and the liver and the different organ in our system and creates the whole structure of our body. You got the point. So that particular cell, which is initially formed the life birth inside the mother's egg, that is called embryonic stem cells. You got the point, because they come up with the initial cells are come up with a huge potential. they can have the ability to convert into any kind of organ, because that is proven. That is how we are all born. So in our body, all the organs are functioning properly. From the parents when we born, these cells are what you call multiplying and converting into the proper organ. Okay, so the first cell or the first few weeks of cells, whatever we have, few hundreds of cells, these cells are having the great potential converting themselves into the any kind of different organ in our body. You got the point? So what is the research says? Whether can I able to collect that first 1 week or 10 days embryonic cells, which is there in mother's placenta, because they have a huge potential. Later days, they can be converted into the different organs. It is clear. So this is called embryonic stem cells. So what is the research says? As soon as the pregnancy starts, after the first few weeks, before reaching the advanced stage of the pregnancy, there is a mother's placenta, you'll have only fluid. That is called amniotic fluid. So in this fluid, these cells will be floating. The cells will be floating. So what doctors will do? They'll put the injection, collect one injection load of fluid. In this fluid, you'll have few hundreds or few thousand cells, which is having the amazing quality, which can be converted or modified into the different organs in your body. So that is called embryonic stem cells. You got the point? So nowadays we have a stem cells banks are there. It is there in Bangalore itself. We have it in Whitefield. In Whitefield, Bangalore, stem cells banks are there, which is operating from the year 2000. Keep it in your mind. Now we are in 2020. Very first they started in Bangalore only. Later in Maharashtra and in Chennai. Now in almost all the metro cities, we have stem cells banks. So what is the whole logic behind it? So whenever the couples are going for the pregnancy, they can donate few, cells of placenta, which is having the amazing quality of converting themselves into the different organ. These cells can be stored. These cells can be stored in the bank in minus 157 degrees Celsius. You need to store them in a minus 157 degrees Celsius. How long you need to store? You need to store them for lifelong. And what is the purpose behind it? Why I need to store these stem cells in minus 157 degrees Celsius? Suppose let us imagine it, in the year 2020, a baby born, the parents are storing their stem cells and he is growing at the age of 30, 40. By 2060, that person is having a kidney failure. Let us imagine it. Okay. That time, the parents, what they can say, see, you have your stem cells are stored in a bank, you go and collect it. Probably by future, you may have the technology. If you have a stem cell, you can make the organ in the laboratory. So that's the whole logic. Right now, the technology is not there. Keep it in your mind. As of today, technology is not there, but it's partially started. Say, for example, nose and ear. It's already can be made in laboratory, can be fitted in your face. Exactly from your own tissues, we can make it. It is already done, it came into the market as of today in 2020. Only nose and ear, because in these two, not much complicated blood circulations, not much complicated tissues. So they made it these two. It is just a cartilage, just a cartilage. So they have done it. If you cut it, there'll be a blood. It's a human tissues. It is made in laboratory. It is not a plastic one or something. It is a pakka human tissues made from your own body. If you have stem cells, you got the point. This is available already in 2020. We are talking about 2060. By 2060, 100%, there might be a organ can be delivered by the hospital if we provide them embryonic stem cells. It is clear. Suppose if the parents are storing it, 2060, the person is having a trouble and you can simply order the kidney, which is made from your own cells. His own cells are made, converted into kidney. And this kidney is replaced in his body. Now what happened? Your autoimmune system 100% will accept the external kidney, because that is nothing new, because the tissues matching also 100%, blood group is 100%, and even the gene, chromosome, everything is widely accepted because it is taken from your own embryonic cells. So autoimmune system with both the hand welcome that particular external kidney. So that person, what he can do, he no need to go for 15,000 rupees worth of medicine per month. You go to the hospital and take the surgery, wait for 1 or 2 days, walk out, and you can lead a normal life. Is it possible logically? Making of ear, does it also include the hearing mechanism or just the outer ear? It is just an outer ear. No hearing mechanism is not done because that is much more complicated. Whatever they have made is only for the outer ear. Suppose if in accident, if somebody is losing the ear or some ear pieces are deformity. So for a cosmetic purpose, they are doing this. So nowadays they are doing for the plastic surgery on the nose. Slightly you can correct it. In future, you can select which nose you want, you can change it. So that you can, size of the nose can be changed, size of the ear can be changed. It is already sorted. You can go home and check it in a Google, it is already sorted. Surgery is being done. Okay, you may not be able to identify whether it is a real one or what do you call it, it is enhanced through the surgery. You may not feel the difference at all. You got the point? So now, when a person is storing the stem cells in the bank, and that need to be stored in minus 157 degrees Celsius, and how long? For till next 40 years, 2020 to 40, so that it can be used by 2060, if at all the person is having a defect. That is clear. For storing in or maintaining this minus temperature, you have to pay money to the company. Okay, if I'm not wrong, the current charges are you need to pay 80,000 rupees on the first year, and after that 20,000 per year. 20,000. It's a kind of rental to store your stem cells in the bank. So that is how that bank is operating in Whitefield. That is clear. So that is called stem cells bank, which is very much functioning it across the globe. The people are using it. Am I clear? It's clear. So now the available technology, it is not for you and me. Keep it in your mind. We already born. When we born, our parents never store our stem cells. Okay. Now we think that, okay, wow, it's technology looks good, but it is only for the future kids. Only for future kids. And what about you and me? Down the line, we are going to listen to music some or other manner if the organ is not functioning properly. So what is the remedy? How I can take it forward to improve my quality of life? It is clear. So for that only, there is another type of stem cells. I have told there are two types of stem cells. Another one is adult stem cells. Adult stem cells. So what does it mean? Embryonic stem cells, we missed it because when we born, this technology was not there. So our parents didn't store. At least for your future kids, you can store the embryonic stem cells if you are highly convenient with the science and tech. Or if you want to protect yourself, there is another option called adult stem cells. So what the experts are claiming it, till the age of 40, 35 to 40, somewhere in our body, some amount of embryonic stem cells remain there as it is. Remain there as it is because they are still in the process of conversion. You got the point. Embryonic stem cells, say for example, if you take 35-year-old person in his tooth region, deeper inside the root canal of the tooth, some amount of embryonic stem cells remain as it is. It is identified where and all the embryonic stem cells are available. It's available in tooth, deep root, and heart muscles, stomach muscles, thigh region, okay, and in liver. So they've identified these are the places where the embryonic stem cells are. It is remain available up to the age of 35 to 40 years. And these cells are called adult stem cells. It is clear. So now whoever listening this class, probably you might be around 25 to 30, okay, in this age group. So 100% you have embryonic stem cells somewhere in your body. If you really believe in the system, what you can do, you can go to the stem cells bank in Whitefield, approach them, you tell them that I want to store my stem cells. They will tell you which doctor you need to approach. And they will simply take it with a minor surgery, maybe from the tooth, they'll pick up the cells and store it. You pay them money and wait for the day till your organ get failure. And the technologies get updated so that you can able to modify your organ. You got the point? Western countries, it is very common. Western countries, it is very common. Whereas in India, adult stem cells banks are almost, it is nothing taking off. The people are not ready to come forward. Okay. Why I should go for a surgery when I'm very much healthy? I don't have any issues as of now. Well, let the issue comes, that time let me take care of it. Okay, so that's the attitude of ours. Whereas in Western countries, to an extent, the people are doing it. In India, it is yet to take off. But the embryonic stem cells are, it is working profitably. In a huge number, large scale people are storing it. It is clear. Any doubt so far in this? And the embryonic stem cells are, in fact, in the initial stage of pregnancy, you no need to take it from the pregnancy in the placenta. Normally, the parents or mothers are they're not ready to give anything at the time of pregnancy. So what the doctors are doing it at the time of delivery, when the surgery is done, cesarean or any sections are done at the time of delivery, when they are cutting the umbilical cord, when they are cutting the umbilical cord, from the umbilical cord, that blood will have embryonic stem cells. So the doctors, what they are doing, if the parents are accepting to go for storage, they will just store this blood. They will just store this umbilical cord blood. They have a healthy embryonic stem cells. That is highly enough. That is highly enough. It's clear. So any doubt so far in this? Any doubt so far in the stem cells? Because it's all a new concept, new terms. So if you don't follow, please ask me, I'll explain once again. Any questions about stem cells, organ replacement, and their what do you call autoimmune system? Anything?
One question, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, while the eyes replacement is done at that time also, it is true like we need to take 15,000 of medicine and the quality of life is bad.
No, no, no. Cornea, it is not like that. It is not required.
Okay.
Cornea is not required because it is not at all considered as a biological tissue.
Okay.
Cornea doesn't have any blood circulation. Keep it in your mind. So that is why they can easily remove on the place of what do you call person's dead itself. In a home itself, the surgery will be done. In the same place where the person is dead, in home itself, within a matter of 10 to 15 minutes, the cornea can be removed. It doesn't have any blood circulation. It is a kind of lens, like a normal contact lens, what you are wearing it. Okay, but it is capable to what do you call work in a close relationship with your retina, so that your eyesight will be perfect. It's clear. Any other question?
Sir, using cloning, can stem cells be produced, embryonic stem cells?
Yes, yes, yes. That's the next level. That's what we are going to see. That's possible. It is done. See, now we spoken about what do you call the future kids, those who can store the stem cells. That is our own kids. Second one is how we can protect ourselves by storing adult stem cells we have done. Okay. But what about our parents? What about our parents? Those who are above 60, I mean above 40, 40 plus. They don't have any option of storing their adult stem cells. They don't have any option of storing their embryonic stem cells. But they are the people, quickly they are going to listen the music about health system, the organ success or failure. Okay. So for them, how we are going to improve the quality of life? Because they are the people, now they are standing in a queue. They are standing in a queue for organ. Okay. And they are the people facing autoimmune system. And they are the people taking 15,000 rupees worth of medicine per month. And they are getting confined inside the room. And they are just surviving it. So how the latest medical research help them to improve the quality of life? Because that is the biggest research right now across the globe is going on. Not your future kids, because they have enough time. Okay. Not the adult. You have enough time. At least another 20 years, nothing going to happen for you. Okay. So in 20 years, there'll be a lot of research breakthrough. But the people above 60, okay, above 50, above 60, they are the people facing the trouble because the current technology should be matching with them. Okay. So how we are going to improve their quality of life? So for that, we need to see about something called cloning, or it's otherwise called stem cells therapy. There are two things are there. One is stem cells therapy, another one is the cloning. What do you mean by stem cell? 60 plus year old having some organ trouble. Okay. Or is having some nervous trouble. That means organ is normal, some part of the organ is getting in trouble. So he doesn't have any embryonic stem cells or adult stem cells. What he can do, he can take some stem cells from their own blood relatives, maybe son and daughter or grandson and daughter. From them, the stem cells can be taken, and that stem cells can be used for the particular person. Can be used for the particular person. To an extent, it gives good results. Good results. This is one aspect. Right now in India, this stem cells therapy is going on. In Malay Hospital or Apollo Hospital or Fortis, this therapy is going on in Bangalore itself. It is clear. It gives what you call drastic improvement for age-old issues, even for a paralytic patients. They are getting to an extent recovery. Recovery is possible. Okay. And the another one is where the stem cells therapy is being used. Suppose, say, for example, India, where the road traffic accident is very huge. One of the largest death is happening it, or injury is happening it. Crippling deformities are happening in a road traffic accident in Indian roads. Okay. And majority of the people, those are met an accident, they are in the middle age. They are in the middle age. If you go to any hospital, in particularly we have a accident and trauma hospital in Bangalore. Where is it? There is a separate hospital for accident and trauma. It's a government hospital. Where is it? Anybody in Bangalore? It is Sanjay Gandhi Hospital. It is in Jayanagar, Sanjay Gandhi Hospital for accident and trauma. It is a specific, well-established hospital for road traffic accident. Road traffic accident. If you don't have a time, if you have a passion to drive very fast your two-wheeler or four-wheeler, I kindly advise before starting your vehicle or whenever you have a holiday or something, you go and meet the doctor. They will show you to go for a visit inside. Okay, there you can see each and every cases comes with the road traffic accident only, mainly. And you can see the people, the different kind of people, how they are losing the limb, how they are suffering it, how their family is getting collapsed. Everything you can come to know. Everything you can come to know here. So here, the young people, sometimes they'll get an accident and they'll get an injury in a spinal cord, they lead to the paralysis. their limbs will be paralyzed. Okay. Once if there is a nervous injury, right now I am telling you, nervous injury always will be irreversible. Keep it in your mind. Whereas all other injury, it's reversible. What do you mean by that? Any body part in your body, if something happened damage, it will regrow. Suppose, say for example, your skin is cut, it will grow. Your hair is cut, it will grow. Your muscles are gone, it will grow again. Your blood loss, again the blood will be produced. Bone is broken, bone will grow. Nervous damage, it never grow. You got the point? So in our body, all the organs, all the system, major system I have covered, everything have the capacity to regrow. Everything have the capacity to regrow themselves. Okay, even if there is no treatment, it will grow. Suppose if there is a bone is fractured, you are not going to the hospital, you are going to the traditional bone setter, the bone will grow and join automatically. But the nervous damage will never regrow again, because that is very, very sensitive tissues in our body, highly sensitive. The neurons are highly sensitive. It is irreversible, to put in your mind. That means what happened? Normally, if there is a paralytic patient, what is the treatment we are giving it? We are giving just a, what do you call, palliative care. There is a term called palliative care. Palliative care means what? He need to be paralytic for the rest of the life. How you can maintain themselves with the paralysis? That is called palliative care. No recovery. Keep it in your mind. There is no recovery. There is no recovery for the spinal cord injury. There is no recovery for the paralytic cases. If the injury is severe, it is severe. That's all. It never retain what do you call coming back to the normalcy. But nowadays, what is the hope? The stem cells therapy, it gives the hope. Large amount of hope is given. I have seen the patients. I have seen the patients recently. The person is almost 4 years paralytic, around 30-year-old, road traffic accident, spinal cord injury, complete paralysis, not even a single sensation. And he started with the stem cells therapy. And after 4 years of therapy, he started getting the pain sensation in his limb. Probably right now he might be walking. I have seen him in 2010. In 2010, I saw him in person in Hyderabad. Probably right now, there are most probable chances, maybe because it takes a lot of time. After 4 years, he started getting the sensation. Once of the sensation is it's coming, automatically the person going to walk. That's the meaning of it, but it takes time. Probably by now, he might be walking. It is possible, it is working. The stem cells are working to an extent, but not in all the cases. Not in all the cases. So here, if the person is 30-year-old, what the doctors are doing it, 30-year-old person met an accident. In his body, there is a stem cells, adult stem cells. You pick up that stem cells and infuse them wherever there is an injured spinal cord damage has happened. There you put that particular cells. And the cells will work with the nerve cells and convert them into the new nerve cells. So nerve. So stem cells therapy right now in Bangalore, it is happening, but it is right now, it is very, very slow process. Very, very slow. It takes 3 to 4 years to get the basic friction, basic sensation, but it works. When there is no other alternative, this is working. People are taking it. Am I clear? This is the only option right now, it's available. But we were discussed about how to manage our parents. How to manage our parents. What are the things to be done? How to improve their quality of life when they are losing the organ. So for them, the next concept you need to understand, it is called cloning. It is called cloning. So cloning means what? See, the normal live birth, you need to understand. Let us imagine it, father is 30-year-old, mother is 30-year-old, and they produce father produces sperm and mother produces egg, and sperm is having only 23 chromosomes, mother is having 23, both join together and become 46, and this particular shell is fresh. Okay, and we are getting the fresh baby, and the baby is youthful and it is growing normally. This is how we all born. Okay. Whereas in a cloning, what is the concept they adopted is, instead of giving the sperm, I am going to give you my tissues. The person is giving his body tissues. Okay. So normally you need to understand, suppose say for example, human being, we have 46 chromosomes. Right. Where are these 46 chromosomes? Where is it? Anyone?
Every cell.
It is there in each and every cells. Each and every cell. Suppose if I give my hair, or if I give my one scrap of skin, there are 46 chromosomes. There are cells, millions of cells, and each cell is having the 46 chromosomes. It is clear. So in the case of cloning, the 30-year-old person, he want to produce his offspring exactly same like him. Okay. So what he can do, he can donate his body tissues or any blood tissues or any hair, anything, it is enough. So that body tissues will be taken, in that 46 chromosome is taken. And what the doctor and what doctors will do, they will collect egg cells from some other unknown woman, and the egg cells are having 23 chromosomes. So egg will be collected, in that there will be a nucleus. In that nucleus inside you have a cell, you have a 23 chromosomes. So now what the doctors will do, this 23 chromosomes will be removed, because I don't want this. I don't want any genetic features from the particular woman. I need only the egg cells are needed. I need that nucleus, not these 23 chromosomes. So what they will do, they'll just remove the 23 chromosomes and place this 46, whatever it is taken from the person, that 46 will be placed here. Okay. So that 46 chromosome will be placed inside. So now what happened? The person's nucleus or the egg cells are having entire 46 chromosome, which is completely taken from the same person. Now in a laboratory, the normal cell divisions will start taking place. Same like your normal birth, how the one cell is divided into two become four, four become 8. Same way the cell divisions will start. Now the entire divisions are taking place from the 46 chromosome, which is taken directly from the same person. So naturally, when the baby is born, the baby must be a boy, and exactly following the characteristic features, I mean, not a characteristic features, the genetic genome features from the person. So physically, when the baby growing, the baby will grow same like the person whoever donated this 46. So this is the process called cloning. You got the point? Any doubt in this? Any doubt in this?
So in this mechanism, sir, actually the combination 23 plus 23 that used to happen naturally, it is done artificially by humans.
It is artificially. So no 23 will be taken from the woman, that egg cells nucleus will be removed. Whatever the body tissue the person is donating, that 46 will be placed. Because we need for cloning, for any live birth to happen, egg cell is needed. Okay, egg cell is needed, sperm is not needed in a cloning. Okay, because the sperm is having the 23, I don't want. I need a 46, so the body tissues is enough. Body tissue is enough. And that can be placed inside the egg, and the divisions of cell division will happen only in the egg. So egg cell is needed, but not this 23 chromosome. That nucleus is not needed. You got the point?
Yes, sir.
So that is the process is called cloning. So this technology was achieved in 1998. Right now they have done the cloning in almost all the animals. In almost all the animal. That means Dolly was the initial sheep. It was done in sheep. And later they've done cat, then horse, even frog. Almost they've checked it everything. They've done in everything, in a cattle and other thing. So the technology is highly advanced right now. If it is allowed, it can be done in a human being also. But is globally it is banned. Human cloning is globally it's banned. Why it is banned? If you just think about it, suppose if there is a cloning is allowed, in a human cloning is allowed, it is available in a Bangalore, definitely I will go and check it. Okay. Not only me, majority of the people will try because it's a highly curious technology. I want to see the person who looks like me, same like me. Okay, so there is a psychologists are often saying it. Why we often stand in front of the mirror and seeing ourselves? Because we want to see the person looks like us. So it's a basic curious psychology. Okay, so but human cloning is across the globe, it is banned for some reason. My question is, what could be the reason why they are banning this amazing technology?
Ethics.
One is
Ethics, maybe.
ethics.
Yes.
Okay, what do you mean by ethics?
That naturally, if we get this, then maybe the rich people, everyone will start making their clones.
Okay.
And instead of like, they would say like a football player would, like they might start merging even the genes and then create humans who are always good at something.
Okay. See here, the first reason is, suppose if it is allowed, let us imagine it, what will happen? Suppose the 60-year-old person is looking for the organ. 60-year-old is looking for an organ is not available, and it is very costly. Even if you purchase it, there is a headache of autoimmune system, and you need to go for 15,000 rupees worth of medicine, and he can only survive, he cannot live. So these are all the big headache. So what he can do instead of that, he can go for cloning. Cloning baby will be ready in 10 months. So I need a kidney or I need eye or something, remove kidney and kill the baby. Because I don't have any affection or a love with the baby. I am just making a cloning just for an organ donor. You got the point? Just like an organ donor. I'll remove the kidney, the baby's kidney and the well grown up adult kidney will be same. It never grow, keep it in your mind. Our eyes will be never grow, it will be same. So as soon as the baby born, that organ can be removed, that organ can be utilized by the well grown up adult or a old age person, and the baby will be thrown into the dustbin. Already we are getting the babies in the dustbin. You got the point, which is born out of romance, but it is happening in the dustbin. If the cloning technology is allowed, what happened? There is no romance at all because I'm just giving only the body tissues. I just pay the money. Doctors will deliver the baby, remove the kidney and kill them. So what happened? The human kids, it become like a flesh. That's one of the dangerous level of growth. So for that purpose, it is banned. This is one of the reason. This is one of the valid reason. What happened? The cloned babies will act like a donor, organ donor. They'll be forced to become like an organ donor. You got the point? That is one. Another one is what you call the crime rate or crime identity of the person will be confusing. will be confusing. It creates a lot of confusion across the globe to control, but this is completely manageable. But this problem is completely, it is manageable. You got the point, it is possible. And the third reason is something called premature aging. Premature aging. What does it mean? Premature aging. Any idea? The first animal, Dolly, died within 3 years because of premature aging. And the same kind of problem identified in all the animals also. So what does it mean, premature aging? I have told already. In a normal live birth, father is producing the sperm on the day. The sperms are getting active on the same day. Mother is producing the egg on the same month, in a monthly cycle. The sperm enters into the egg and the baby produced. And the baby is just literally hardly 1 month old, and the baby born, and the baby is fresh. And it is growing normally. This is how we are all born. Okay. Whereas in a cloning, what happened? 30-year-old person is donating his body tissue. From there, the baby is getting produced. Okay. So literally speaking, that baby also 30-year-old. Keep it in your mind. So our agings are getting recorded every day in our DNA, every day in our genes. Compared to yesterday, today we are all aged. It is already recorded in your DNA. Suppose if you give me your body tissue, I can tell you exactly how many years and how many days you are old. Okay, the forensic expert will say exactly what is your age, because in each and every hair in our DNA, it is getting data is getting modified. Compared to yesterday, it is changed. Compared to today, the tomorrow it will be changed. That means each and every cells are getting updated in a 24-hour cycle. Am I clear? So when a 30-year-old person is giving the body tissue, each and every tissue, each and every chromosome, each and every genes are 30-year-old. When he is producing the clone baby, that baby also 30-year-old. Am I clear? So at the age of 5, the baby will start showing all the symptoms of 35-year-old. At the age of 10, the baby will behave like a 40. At the age of 15, the baby will have all the diseases related with 45-year-old male, like a gray hair, eyes trouble, skin wrinkling, joint pain, diabetic, BP, whatever it is. At the age of 45, whatever you used to have, everything will be there here. So that condition is called premature aging. Am I clear? This is another reason why, what do you call that? Your cloning was banned. One is the clone baby will act like an organ donor. Another one is premature aging. And the third reason is you are going to stop the common human evolution process. This is the most important point. Human evolution process. What does it mean? What is the meaning of it? So if you closely observe, we are little more advanced, little more ahead in terms of knowledge, in terms of smartness compared to our parents. Will you agree? And our kids are much more smarter than ours. And the future kids will be much more smarter. That means gradually, knowingly or unknowingly, even though we are just passing 46 chromosome, we are passing the human evolution process also. Okay, that process are happening it from generations, one birth to the another birth. Gradually, the human evolution process are keep happening it. That evolution process will stop. Evolution process will get arrested once if you allow the cloning. In other way around, I can tell you, the life system started on the earth with the one cell animal, that is amoeba. This we are all studied. And it is getting become 2, 4, and it is gradually it's emerging. Now we have an advanced pattern of chromosome, that is 46 chromosome, that is human being. Any animal is having what you call more number of chromosomes than us? Anybody can say? Any animal is having more number of chromosomes than us? So if you see the system of growth, the evolution growth, it starts from one cell and it went up to 48. After that, it is graph is coming down like this. We are here at 46. Who is having 48?
Chimpanzee.
This is chimpanzee. Keep it in your mind. Chimpanzee is having 48 chromosomes. So from one cell amoeba, the entire evolution system on the earth, it grown up to 48. Then it is turning back to 46, but we are smarter than 48. So now the question is, who is next to us? Who is next to us? So by this graph, you can easily predict the next to us will be much more smarter than us and much more vibrant and much more sleek and slim in terms of number of chromosomes. Maybe 44 or 40 chromosome might be there. Okay. Now what happened by allowing cloning? What happened? I'm putting a break here. I'm not allowing this process to continue. I'm not allowing this process to continue. You got the point? Because I'm just donating my body tissues and the baby is ready. I'm not going for the normal evolution process. So this is one of the major reasons why the human cloning is stopped or banned across the globe. You got the point? Suppose if there is a question, this question was not asked, but the cloning related questions have been asked. If there is a question why the cloning is banned across the globe, then you have to put this point as a first. Human evolution process are getting arrested. That is a major reason why across the globe the cloning is stopped. You got my point? So in fact, experts are claiming it. Next to human, it is almost ready. Anytime they are going to born. Because we have crossed that particular span of time. How the monkey to human is emerged, that span of time is gone already. Anytime the smartest human being, the next evolution process, they are going to born somewhere on the earth. You got the point? This is what the experts are claiming. So in this process, right now, if you allow the cloning, what happened? The whole process get derailed. The whole human evolution process get derailed. So that is one of the reasons why the cloning is banned across the globe. So any doubt so far in this about the cloning? If you have any questions, you can ask me. Any question?
Nerve cells, you said, sir, that they don't replicate, right?
Which one?
Nerve cells.
I'm not getting.
Nerve cells, sir, you said, right, that they cannot be replicated. Like blood can be produced, bones can grow.
Nerve cells you are telling.
Yes, sir.
So the nerves will not regrow. It is not the case of replication. Replication can be done in a cloning. But if we normally in any accident or something, the nervous regrowth will be very rare. Very rare. That is why the nervous related surgeries are, the recovery is very rare. It's almost, not even 50-50, almost 90 and 10%. 90% it's not possible, 10% there is a chances. Like that.
Okay, sir.
You got the point. The growth is the time gap given by the nerve. Suppose if there is an accident, let us imagine it. One person met an accident. He lost the finger in the accident site. The index finger, it is gone. It's got cut. It is just a two-wheeler accident. It got cut totally. And they are taking the finger and coming to the hospital. If they are reaching the hospital within a matter of 3 hours, there are great chances the nerves may go for a reaction. It can be united. Just the 3 hours. That too, its a possibility is 20 to 80%. 20% is a possible. 80% may not be possible. But rest all I can unite anytime. like skin I can unite, bones I can unite, and the other muscles I can unite, everything I can unite, but only the nerves may not function properly. Once of the nerves is not functioning properly, that finger it become like a dead body only. No use of it. Then you have to, once for all, you have to remove that. You got the point?
Yes, sir.
So the regrowth possibility is very, very rare. If the patient comes quickly, then there is a possibility. The nerves also will get function and start working. So the time frame, it is normally around 3 to 4 hours max. That too, if it is properly, you should take that finger, you should keep it in an ice box or somewhere, and you should take to the hospital. If it is what you call in a minus temperature, if you are maintaining it, so that the blood, nothing is going for the clot inside the finger. To an extent, it is possible. It's clear?
Yes, sir.
Then any other question? So with this, I'll stop it today. We have done till cloning. The therapeutic cloning, we can see it in the next class. So if you have any queries, you can ask me, or else we can wind up.